Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Beyond Saltmarsh. I'm Dave, your humble dungeon master, one of the DMs that play around here on the Severe Adventures Guild Twitch channel. Thank you for joining us. We've got some exciting gameplay tonight, I think, hopefully. We've got some things lined ahead of us for the adventure. Before we get to that kind of fun stuff, I just want to introduce the real stars of this show, the players, my good friends, the good buddies. Hi guys, say hello.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
You and you and you and you. Hello, you.
You're fantabulous.
No, I didn't mention this before, guys, but I liked what we did last week. So when you do your intro, just mention one thing from last session that your character that was notable for your character. Can be anything. Or just a memory or something that you enjoyed about the last session.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andy. I'm playing Rhunar Deg, 8th level human dual sword wielding Battlemaster fighter and captain of the Good Buddy. One thing I enjoyed from last week was finding out that the little town of Cyber has a little beach bar, and Rhunar really wants to go see it.
Nice. Yes. That will likely happen.
My name is Kirk. Oh, my cord. My name's Kirk. I'm playing Dave McGillingutty, 7th level doctor, 1st level
podiatrist,
fighter.
No,
still 1st level fighter.
Oh wait, no. He's a rogue, isn't he? He's a rogue impersonating a doctor. And he's got some fish stew in his beard.
And some tar in his hair.
And some tar in his hair.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And his eyebrows are like 4 inches long now. So you can imagine how he feels.
We got to get some character art for that at some point. Do we have fan art yet? Have we gotten to that? But no, we're still a ways off from that. All right, fans, let's get some artwork for Dr. McGillingutty.
Yeah. Hello, it's me, Chad, aka North Shore DM, aka I wear headbands. I'm playing Tenoch, Knucklebones, halfling from the jungles. I guess no, the party knows that now. I'm from the jungles.
Spoilers.
Wizard of the Divination persuasion, or perhaps as he would say, oh no, I don't have my notes up. He's a dream man. I don't remember. I'll tell you later. Last week, what did I really like last week? I really liked when we ran aground. That was hilarious. I appreciated the various pamphlets in the bar about all the things to do around cyber. That was fun.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, you know.
Like you do. Hi, everybody. I'm Michael, a.k.a. the dude playing Theo. I love a parade. The memorable memory. That's right. I'm a wordsmith, guys. The problem is my favorite memory just got stolen by Chad, and now I'm going to have to go beat him up and take it back. Because, I enjoyed the part where Theo ran the ship aground in the storm. That was all his fault. And then I liked the part where the crew found all the undead stowed away in the bilge and then killed the guy that was down there, so that now he's joined them in the briny depths for in case emergencies happen and we need like crew in the middle of the night, or we have to move the boat. There's a lot of uses for the undead in the bilge. Back to you, Dave.
Wow. All right, that's news to me. We have Undead in the Bilge, and let me make note on that. Okay. Yep. All right. Good.
I'm helping.
Yep. That's juicy. Yeah. So we've got a couple of announcements before we get started. First of all, I just want to say a big shout out to all the people who organized GaryCon last week. It was absolutely fantastic. I am going to post in the chat here a couple of the folks that I think you should follow if you're not already following their streams. Time Lord's Wife ran a great Greyhawk based one shot that I played in. Actually, it's kind of like a 1.5 shot because we've got a little bit of gameplay left that we're going to be running this weekend. But nice. Super fun game. And I got to play a 12th level Psy Knight, which was very, very cool out at Tasha's Cauldron. It was very fun. I also wanted to shout out to Lord Gazumba, who was extremely active and sort of really did lead the charge in organizing all of the amazing Greyhawk content that they had. I mean, there were channels devoted just to Greyhawk, which was really, really cool. So I learned a lot about the world that we're playing in right now for this game, and that was fun. And then I got to play in a one-shot on Blue Box RPG's channel, which was amazing. John Birchfield it was a joy to have him dungeon master a game, and for me to be in that game was super duper fun. So big shout out to those folks. Really, really appreciate all the hard work that everybody put into that. Let's see. Oh, April 10th, Roll Your Doom. Chad and I have something special. We promised that we would do that, and so we came up with something last night. Or no,
it was a few nights ago.
It was a few nights ago. Yeah. But it's a really good one. So April 10th is going to be our next episode of Roll Your Doom, because it is also Runehammer Day. So Runehammer is 5 years full-time, starting on April 10th. So there's a celebration regarding that. And in solidarity with that celebration, Chad's going to be running a one-shot in the Xeno Dead Zone setting. And Chad, just a couple of words about what that setting is all about would be great.
You may or may not be familiar with that classic science fiction tale of a lady who wants to put her eggs in your chest so they can burst out of you like a closet.
Avatar?
And yes, Avatar. And the few heroes who succumb to that problem. It's essentially a sort of RPG / board game rule set for a kind of aliens really experience. It's going to be super fun. Hopefully it won't just be two of us. We'll see how many people can make it. It's, scheduling is a thing, but regardless, we're going to be doing it. It's going to be a good time. You can watch us right here and find out the ultimate answer. Can you really hear someone scream in space? Pretending to be in space, I suppose, since we won't really be in space.
I mean, as long as you got the right electronics, of course.
Yeah, if the comms are on. Usually I shut the comms off when they're close to 0 hit points, though. I don't want to hear that.
It's just a lot of screaming. Gnashing of teeth.
We also have, Chad, something special tomorrow.
We do have something special tomorrow. Tomorrow is the second episode of Midwinter Keening, which is the Svealand based campaign. It's kind of a Norse-inspired sort of setting that I am running, or what's the word? I am forcing my players to endure, depending on how you want to look at it. The first arc, as you will, of course, have known if you have seen the first one, is the loneliest homestead in the north. And they are now experiencing snowstorms and the undead. I don't know. We'll see. You got to tune in and find out. It's going to be great. Oh, and hey, check it out. I'm going to be giving away a set of dice to one lucky person. There'll be like some like, hey, do this thing in the chat, and then we'll pick it however that works. The algorithm does it, and then
We have a
I'll
bot
send
for
it
that.
to you. Yeah, we have a bot for that. And then I'll send it to you, and then you can roll those dice and be like, yeah, these are cool dice. I got them from the Superior Adventurers Guild. So, yeah, stick around for that.
That's
all
awesome.
I got, man.
That's great.
You missed the first session last time. It ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, so there's no way we're all going to start the game off by screaming.
Yeah, we're going to keep the mics on for that one. Although Andy might be muted. We'll see.
What? Am I muted?
Oh, the inside jokes just keep going. All right, great. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for the updates and the intros. Let's jump into a quick recap here before we get started, so we're all sort of up to speed on what happened last time. So in our last episode, the Deg Gang embarked on a 3-day voyage from Monmerg to Cybrit Isle. Their new crew member, Tenoch, spent time getting to know the rhythms of the vessel, whose name, the Good Buddy, seemed to capture the morale and the brotherhood of the ship's small crew quite nicely. The first day of travel went great. Rhunar spent time training Kyle and that other guy in the use of pikes for defending against boarding parties. Byron attempted to decipher more passages from Odbrick Dralian's mysterious journal. Had a bit of a challenge with that. That night, as a thick bank of fog rolled across the ocean, Tenoch called upon Mother Tiger to illuminate the nature of the strange talisman that Kuda had pulled off of Turvelsil a couple episodes previous, and that was now in the possession of the party's necromancer guy, Theo. I'm not sure how he describes himself anymore. But anyhow, the second day of travel came with heavy rains, large ocean swells that challenged the crew, and as was mentioned by Michael, set the Good Buddy off course, ultimately causing the hull to scrape against a jagged underwater reef. Byron, the shipwright, and members of the crew snapped right into action, inspecting, repairing. In fact, they worked through the entire night to ensure that the ship would remain seaworthy and afloat. Now, luckily, the third day of travel was met with beautiful, clear day, beautiful weather, a strong wind in their sails, and they were able to make up for some of the lost time during the previous day. And at the end of the day, they dropped anchor with their destination on the horizon. Tenoch sent out his familiar, a black-collared hawk, to investigate echoing sounds coming from Cybar, the capital city of the Cybrit Isle. The sounds, it seemed, were coming from revelry, celebratory inebriations of the local townsfolk, which is usually a good sign. The next morning, the Good Buddy sailed into port, dropped anchor at the outskirts of an estuary near the docks, and a small landing party consisting of Theo, Rhunar, Tenoch, Sails, and a strange, heavily bearded Byron made ready for landfall. Now, the reason Byron was bearded is because that he was really concerned about the message or word of his murder of Lord Cyrus William Ray, who was a made man under the auspices of the Fivefold Council. That word might have already gotten to Cybar, so he used a magical beard grow potion to grow this massive beard, as he mentioned, his eyebrows almost blocking his vision in some cases. He's having to slick them back, I would imagine. I kind of have that vision in my head. And took on his new disguise as Dr. Dave McKillengutty. The gang rowed the dinghy to the docks and were met almost immediately by a port administrator, a gnomish fellow who intended to collect a docking fee. However, discovering that one of the party members was a doctor in disguise, he agreed to waive the fee in exchange for medical attention, exposing his fungus-covered foot, with the doctor returning a prognosis and offering to amputate. He did not take him up on the offer. After that encounter, the gang set off for the Dry Dock Tavern. Theo suggests that Sails head out and get a lay of the political landscape, do her thing, and investigate the whereabouts of Dr. Octavio Grah, the purpose of their mission to Cybar, sent by Alesco Mariconia in Monmerg to recover the good doctor, a real doctor, and the cargo that he had been traveling with. Now, they crossed past the warehouse district where they observed all the bustle of the port town in full swing, wagons transporting bundles of agricultural products to the warehouses to be stored and shipped onto cargo vessels. There's a lot of activity happening. And they eventually arrived at the tavern, ordered some fish stew. It was delicious. They spoke with the tavern owner, this rugged-looking man wearing what could be best described as a Hawaiian shirt, a wide-brimmed hat, Amish-style beard. His name, Arid Norgren. All smiles. Very happy to see these guys. Severely worn teeth. The enamel eroded down to the dentine, like small brown pegs, but nonetheless, extremely happy to inform the party about the town, all the opportunities they had there. When questioned about the whereabouts of Dr. Grah, Arid suggested that they speak with the doctor's assistant, Tanika. And that, my friends, is where we left off at the last session. You're sitting around a table in the Dry Dock Tavern and Inn. It's mid-morning, the tropical island of Cyberit. What would you guys like to do?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna just get a couple of those like pineapple drinks and just lay on the beach all day.
Mm-hmm.
They got any cherry schnapps?
No, and those are the devil, which means we need to go find Tanika.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You guys finished with your stew?
Yes.
I can walk and eat my stew. I'm done with it, but I'm just saying, even if we had to, I could. Some of us are capable of doing more than one thing at a time.
I'm already saving some of it for later.
Where? How?
Yeah, give us a quick, Byron, give us a quick rundown on what you look like now that you've got this weird disguise on.
All right, so he poured a beard grow potion on his face. So pretty much from about the tops of his cheeks down is just 12 to 14 inches of just scraggly, nasty black hair covered in tar. It's kind of been pulled into the middle, so it's like super greasy and nasty looking. He poured a little bit on his eyebrows too, so those are like 4 inches long or so. And he's kind of like constantly pulling at him, trying to get him out of his face. The hair that he also dumped a bunch on his hair. Most of it went on his head. So now his hair is probably about shoulder length, maybe even longer than that, maybe like the middle of his back. And he put a lot more tar in that and slicked it, so it looks he looks like a dirty greaser meets homeless person meets somebody who has chosen to never look in the mirror ever again.
Should we all be so lucky?
Yeah, and he's actually I'm gonna have him have he took his Elvenkind cloak off too and stowed it in his bag. He isn't wearing it because it's kind of his trademark look.
But Doctor, without a plus 15 to stealth, how will you stealth?
I know. But it's just gonna be. This is how it's gonna be.
All right.
We appreciate the sacrifices you made to commit to the role.
That is true.
Do we know where Tanika is? Like which room she's in? Did he say? I forgot.
You did not ask much more about that, other than the fact that he had told you about her and that you should seek her out.
Well, then Theo will get back up and go back over to the bar and go, bartender, by the way, because I'm just having a day, is Tanika staying here?
Oh, yes, she is. It's the strangest thing, she hasn't left her room for a couple of days. I've been bringing her food. I don't know if it's connected with whatever's going on with the doctor and his business in town, but she seems to have virtually locked herself in her room.
That's not good. We should go check on her. What room is it?
It's room number 1.
Well, at least she got the best room in the house.
Yeah, it's one of the best. I have more that are also the best. Should you be interested in staying here, I could certainly get those ready for you. Gentlemen, do you intend to stay?
Uncertain right now.
Very well. No pressure. No pressure.
We do intend to drink.
I like that sound. Yes, indeed.
We do too. But let us go check out.
Yeah, I'd like another drink.
She's okay. Get him another drink. and then we'll figure out how many drinks she needs as well.
Would you like to try some of the local rum?
Give me something stronger.
Oh, it's the strongest you'll find.
Give it to me. Give me 2 of them.
Stand a broom up in it.
He turns around and he goes over to these barrels, these oak barrels, and you see him turn the tap spigot and pour 2 shot glasses full of this deep brown liquor. And he walks back over and sets it down in front of you.
Delicious.
He says, indeed, this is the good stuff. Distilled right here in town, in fact.
You're too kind.
It is it's the Cruzan Dark. Please, please. And he gestures for you to drink.
I'll slam them both.
Oh, okay. Roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
You may not have known this, but the doctor is also an alcoholic.
Well, we don't judge around here.
All good doctors are.
And then just let me know what you rolled.
16.
Yeah, you're fine. It burns as it goes down, but you taste the sweetness of the blend. It is a little bit of a spiced rum, so you're picking up some vanilla, hints of vanilla, and you can also pick up pretty prominent the oakiness from it being aged in the oak barrels. But it tastes good. It's some of the best rum you've had.
That's fantastic. I'll do another.
In that case, get me
Very
one as
well.
well.
Very well. Very well. So he gets 2 more. These are going to be 4 silver each. This is the good stuff.
Just gonna hand him 2 gold.
Thank you, Theo.
And he brings over 1 more for each of you, Theo and Byron, Doctor, I should say.
I'll raise it up, and I'll add to Theo, and I'll say, to Erin.
Erin fucking Coalbiter.
Erin Coalbiter.
Erin, goddamn, do the shot.
Yeah.
Coalbiter.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, Arid looks over at you. Rum as well. Would you like to sample the local? I mean, you
I'll
can't.
get one, but then we
There
gotta
you
get
go.
going.
There you go. So he gets you, both of you,
I'm okay.
Shot. Oh, no problem. No pressure.
Thank you. Maybe later.
Whenever you're ready. We've got plenty. Like I said, it's distilled right here at the Cruzan Distillery, just down the road. In fact, we do, as I mentioned before, in addition to the laundering service and the bath services, we've got fishing charters available. We take folks over to the distillery for tastings. You just let me know if you're interested in any of the leisure activities while you're in town, and we'll take good care of you.
We have got to go talk to this assistant. This is a trap, and we need to keep moving before we settle into it. And we will settle into this eventually. Oh, yes. I may retire here.
Very well. Very well. Well, as I mentioned, Tanika is in room number 1. You may have a challenge talking with her, but good luck to you.
It's quite all right. We speak all sorts of languages.
How much was the rum, Dave?
4 silver.
Okay.
Expensive, but it good.
Also, it's probably like 6 months off of the life of your liver.
We're adventurers. It doesn't have that long of a lifespan anyway.
Also, you now have diabetes.
Diabetes. Oh God.
Nothing a cure wounds can't heal.
Right.
If only we had a
long rest.
If we had a
long rest, what do you
paladin.
mean?
Okay.
Right.
Don't
Theo's
worry,
going to
I'm a
get up,
doctor.
head down the hall or up the stairs,
Yeah.
whichever direction it is to the rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go
Yep.
check it out.
So you go upstairs to where the rooms are. It's a kind of a small establishment. There are a number of rooms on the upper level, and they all have a big number emblazoned on the door, and you easily find the first door. It's the first one you encounter as you get to the top of the stairs.
We're just gonna walk up and kind of knock on it, and just say, "Tanika, hello."
Roll a perception check.
7.
You kind of listen at the door after you say her name, and you don't hear anything.
That's what I was worried about.
Let me get this.
No, I've got it. 1 second.
Okay.
Try a few more times.
Doctor, let me ask you a question. No, you're too scary right now.
Doctor.
Captain,
Yes.
are you my buddy?
Sure.
Wonderful.
I am.
Reach over, put my hand on Rhunar's shoulder, and I'm going to dimension door to the other side of the door.
Oh, I was gonna do it a little different, but okay.
As you watch Tenoch, you see Theo and Rhunar disappear. Byron, you're just having a word. You're trying to say something to Theo, and they're gone. And Tenoch and Byron, you hear just moments later, "Ah! What is the meaning of this?" And just shouting. And Rhunar, you and Theo pop into the room, and you see a woman at a desk with the it's pushed up against the wall, and she's sitting at it sort of up against the wall herself. There is a small lockbox that she's pushed up against the entrance door that you were knocking at, that you were calling at, and she looks terrified.
Hello, Tanika. My name is Theo. This is Captain Deg. We've come to help you.
Yeah, we don't mean any harm.
You've come to kill me. I know it. And she starts backing up.
No,
There was
no
no response.
To kill anyone.
We knocked on the door. There was no response. We came in to check and make sure you were all right. We were sent by Mariconia to find Dr. Grah.
Byron, on the other side of the door, you hear footsteps coming up the stairs. And Arid, the man in the flowered shirt and the bad teeth and the wide-brimmed hat, because it says, "What's going on up here? What's happening? I heard a scream."
A door to another dimension opened, and our friends disappeared, and we were scared.
Should we open up the door?
I wasn't
Before we
scared.
calm the nice lady down.
All right.
Tenoch's not afraid of anything. He's got a tiger in his eye.
I hear voices. What is that on the other side of the door? All right, Theo, you and Rhunar are inside, and she's obviously freaking out now. She reaches to the table and grabs a knife off the table and kind of holds it up in front of her. She's shaking.
Theo, full hands up. He's just like, "Hey, no, we're trying to find the doctor. We were sent to help. We were sent to get him home. I suppose that means you home as well. We didn't know you were here."
This is when you first get a look at her. She's dark haired. It looks it's short, right? It's cut short, almost like in a pixie style. Brown eyes. Her eyes are wide open, so you can definitely see the color of the eyes. And she has on very plain looking clothes, suspenders with breeches and like this sort of linen shirt on underneath it. And she has no shoes on. She's barefooted.
So we just want to talk to you and try and help you out. If someone's trying to kill you, we definitely want to stop that. In fact, if someone's trying to kill you, we would very much like to find them because they're probably the problem.
She looks very confused and she's just shaking. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Only a 24.
You see, as you're explaining yourself and sort of giving her some options to sort of relax her, to drop her guard a little bit, and you can also hear behind you the voice of Arid and having a conversation with Byron. She drops the knife and she says, "Why have you come here?"
Because the doctor disappeared.
How did you know about this?
We were told that, and I've completely forgotten as a player.
Mariconia told us. Mariconia in Monmerg.
So my letters reached Monmerg.
It would appear so, yes.
She puts the knife down.
They were addressed to Mariconia?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was afraid we were in a weird situation where it was someone else and something got crossed. Wonderful. Would you mind if we sat down? We do have a couple of other friends with us, and it sounds like the innkeeper is out there. We could go downstairs if you would prefer.
No,
We
no,
just
no.
want
I'm
to
not
talk.
leaving
No,
this
no.
room. I'm not leaving this room.
Okay, that is totally acceptable. Beautiful. Do you mind if we sit down?
Yeah. Go ahead. And
Do you mind if
she pulls the chair back as far as she can get away from you guys and sits down in the chair, still on edge, but definitely different than when you first walked in and scared the living you know what out of her.
No, there are two more of our friends out in the hallway. Do you want to keep them out there, or are you okay if we let them inside?
They're friends of yours? They've
Yes.
come to help?
Yes.
Yes.
We are all here to help.
Yes. They can come in.
Okay.
But
Okay.
shut the door behind them.
Absolutely will. We're going to move this now, right? Rhunar, you're going to help me with this because it's very heavy.
Sure.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the door, Arid is like kind of trying to look past you to the door. He's like, "What's going on in there? What have you done? What was the scream?"
The woman was startled at the sudden appearance of our compatriots, but as it is obvious, I think now, by the tones of voices, that they have reached an accord and will soon be allowing us into the room.
Have you not heard of knocking?
I'm new to doors.
He kind of looks you up and down and says, "Yeah, that tracks." Yeah. I mean, describe what you look like at this point, Tenoch. What are you wearing? What do you look like?
Oh, sure. Yeah, probably very similar to how I was the first time, the party met me. Kind of loose, sort of sailor pants, and a vest. But he, of course, has his big kind of ritual tiger mask, kind of hanging almost like a breastplate, ready to be worn. And tattoos, dark skin, dreadlocks. He definitely does not look like most people, although maybe this is the kind of place where they're going to see more people who are at least stylistically similar. But he's probably a rare sight, if not a first of a kind.
At that point, the door swings open and Theo's standing
Also, he's
there.
jacked.
Yeah.
Hello,
Totally right.
gentlemen. We can come in, please. Of course, stay on this side of the room. Let's give the nice lady a little space. She's had a rough few days or few weeks by the sounds of it. Oh, hello, Mr. Innkeeper. However are you?
He's kind of trying to look inside. Is everything okay, Tanika? And she says, "Yes, I think so, Arid. Thank you for checking on me. I'll just scream really loud again if something goes amiss."
Always
and he
a
just
good
kind of
plan.
nods and says, "All right, I'll be listening." Gentlemen, he nods at you,
you can
Tenoch.
you can
Doctor?
bring us some more rum.
Oh,
Up
yes.
to the room.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Give 5 glasses. We need 5 glasses. One for
And
each of
just
us.
to clarify, you will need, you can't all stay in the same room. We do have, rates for group lodging, but I'll be back in a couple minutes with
Absolutely.
the rum.
We're not staying here. Just throw it on the tab for the room now.
Yeah.
He backs out and heads down to get you some more drinks. You enter, close the door behind you, and Tanika is now rolling a cigarette at the desk.
Hello, these are my friends Tenoch and the doctor. Do not be put off by the doctor's appearance. He is in disguise because he is a man of mystery.
What kind of doctor are you?
I help people heal.
He is not actually a doctor of anything. It's all an act.
Oh, what about the
Shh,
voice?
you're not supposed to tell anyone, man.
The voice, it is part of the act, but I kind of prefer it, and I'm hoping he's going to keep
I
it.
kind of like it too. Yeah, yeah. It's a real manly kind of voice.
Got a lot of gravitas to it. Anyway, we're not here for us and our foibles and quirks. We're here for you. So let us know, dear, how can we help you?
Well, as I stated in the letter to Mr. Mariconia, the doctor has gone missing. It's been a number of days now. He was there one night. The next morning, he was gone. No letter, no note, no indication that he had anywhere to go. It's been, I think, she looks out the window. It's been 3 days now. 4 days.
Was he staying? Where was he staying? Was he staying here?
Yes, he was in the adjoining, or the room next to me, in room number 2.
Are his things still over there, or did they make you move them?
I brought all of his stuff is in this room now.
Okay, so that room is empty now.
Yes.
What was he?
Go on.
So, yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to probably about ask the question you were, which I assume was, what was he doing right up before that?
Okay. And one thing I will say, it's probably been a couple of weeks, just because now I'm thinking that it takes like 3 days to get back and forth. So if she sent a note, it's probably been a week, a little over a week. And your question was, sorry, Theo?
What was he doing that day?
Well, we were making ready to transport ourselves and some cargo back to Monmerg. We had been dropped here by the ship that we were sailing on, and the Liberty Rose is what we arrived on, and then we were to book passage on a ship out of Cyber back to Monmerg. I don't know what he was working on the day of, probably compiling his notes.
Do you have those, correct?
I do not have his notes.
So they went missing with him as well.
The notes are missing.
And they're not, I assume those are a sizable volume or text, not the type of thing he kept tucked into a belt or anything, right?
Well, he has a personal journal that he keeps on him, which makes sense that if he left and went somewhere, he would have taken it with him. There are more notes that have been packaged with the cargo that detail more of the findings, the samples that we collected from our expedition.
Where are those now?
Those are in one of the warehouses.
Have you?
She tells you. She tells you which, where the warehouse is.
Have you checked on the cargo since he disappeared?
I haven't left this room. I'm concerned. When I went to check on the doctor when he hadn't arrived for breakfast at our normal morning meeting, I went to his room and knocked. The door was locked, which was not strange. When Arid came and unlocked it so that we could check on the doctor, the window was open. The room was tossed. There was debris and broken furniture. Much of his clothing was soiled and strewn about the room. There were, how shall I say, there was a strange arrangement almost of symbols and herbs and plants that were arranged on the floor in kind of a circular pattern, not something that I've seen before. And we've studied these types of cultural symbols. That's part of what we've been doing with our research. It's not something I've seen before, but it was peculiar.
Is he known to be an arcanist?
No.
A magic user? A shaman?
No. But we spent much time with them, and we learned much from them. But to purport to wield the power of a true shaman or druid is certainly not something that Dr. Grah would aspire to. He is
Who
more
is-
of a documentarian of these things.
Who is they?
Well, we were our most recent expedition was on the Bodal River. I'm not sure how familiar you are with these areas. It's in the Amadio jungle. Tenoch, roll a history check for me.
All right. History. I have rolled a 12.
Okay, so you're from a region. Well, you would let's see. How should I put this without giving too much away about your character? You would know the name Bodal. There is,
Okay.
in fact, it's quite possible that on your voyage north, you may have docked for a night or anchored in the harbor of Fort Bodal, which is a fort on the at the estuary where the Bodal River meets the Jeklia Bay.
Okay.
And there is a pretty sizable river that runs into the interior of the jungle at that location. And that's the area that she's talking about. We had spent time with the Zenzaran most recently, and we had learned a lot from those people.
Did you bring back anything from them?
We collected plant samples. We have some samples of the animal life in the region. It was very much a natural and cultural history expedition to catalog and explore some of the cultural myths and legends and rites, rituals of the people. Dr. Grah was very interested in this idea of transformation, cultural and biological transformation, and he had felt as though he stumbled upon something from some notes that he had picked up in the Athenaeum in Monmerg. And that is what led us to seek financing, Alesko Mariconia being one of the chief financiers of our expedition, along with some financing, of course, from the Athenaeum, where Dr. Grah works and has an appointment as a specialist there. I am his assistant. I was able to go with him. I'm very anxious to get back to Monmerg and back to my home, but it's been a whirlwind of an experience, that's for sure.
And I understand the Athenaeum's a wonderful place. I've worked with Arcanist Orthanos before. Absolutely wonderful to hear that that's who you're with. So we didn't know exactly what institution you were attached to. So that brings a great deal of clarity to what has happened here.
This circle of herbs and plant life, the plants that you found in his room, did any of that look familiar?
Is it
to,
still
what
there?
you're studying?
It's not. It was cleaned up after the room was searched and cataloged. Arid, of course, needed to rent out the room. It's a busy time of year with the harvest and the monsoon just around the corner. So he.
Do you have the items?
I do have the items. I saved them. Would you like to take a look at them?
Yeah, that
Please.
was great.
All right. So she kneels down by the bed and pulls out a small wooden crate, maybe about the size of a shoebox, and she sets it on the bed and she opens it up, and then she kind of dumps the contents out onto the bed. And it's an assortment of bundled herbs that are dried. It looks as though there is some animal hair, a couple of possible animal feet, animal appendages that looks to be small animals, nothing huge, right? There is some dried flowers and an assortment of other sort of vegetative ingredients, if you will.
I guess anything I recognize, like, is this you know, and things that might be from the Amadio that they're trying. Whoever did this is trying to copy some stuff, as it were.
Roll a nature check. Are you a proficient in nature by any chance?
I am not. I
Okay.
am proficient in survival.
Okay.
Not nature.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a 13 on my roll for a total of 17, and use one of my portents for the day.
Okay. Very cool. So it's a total of 17.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you do recognize some of the plants as being plants that grow in that region that
Okay.
you are familiar with. In fact, the Bodal River is in that region as well. Depending on exactly where you've traveled or where you lived in that area, you may be familiar with the Bodal River as well.
Okay.
But you're definitely familiar with Port Bodal. And you're familiar with some of the, not all of the plants, but with that roll, you definitely recognize some of the plants.
The animal pieces at all?
Yeah, they look to be small rodents. Nothing strange, like out of the ordinary. There's nothing super exotic. There are a couple of bird feathers that you can't tell what they are. But there are the animal pieces are, like rabbit, maybe rat, that kind of thing.
Can you describe what this arrangement was? Could you reproduce it?
Yes, I sketched it, and she gets out her journal and she pages through it, and she opens it up and sort of turns it so you can see it, and it's a very nice drawing. She's a skilled artist in sketching, anyways, and it lays out the exact orientation of the plants. There's even some notes along the edges of the drawing. It is a circular layout of the arrangement. She's got some measurements to kind of give an idea of how far, like the radius of the circle, or the diameter, of the circle, and where things were in relationship to other ones. It's very detailed. And it shows a pretty good rendition of what she found.
I was going to say, does this look like anything I might be familiar with, like either from an actual hands-on spellcasting perspective or from like a cultural ritual perspective?
Yeah, let's make a skill check. What do you think? All of that sounds interesting to me. So whatever you think.
How about we could leverage some Arcana skill,
Sure.
perhaps?
Sure.
While he's rolling that, Theo's just going to ask out loud to the nice woman.
I rolled a 1, so a total of 8.
You have another important dice.
I do. I'm going to use it. It's a 12, so that'll be a total of 19.
It appears as though you haven't seen this specific layout and arrangement with these specific plants before, but by the looks of it, and with the little information you do have on the species of some of the plants that are involved, yes, it appears to be some sort of protective totem. Theo, what were you asking about? Sorry.
He was going to ask, you say you found his clothing and it was soiled. Was it torn?
Well, let's look. And she gets out what appears to be like an old weathered leather suitcase. And she opens it up, and it's just got a bunch of stuff packed into it. These are his personal belongings, and she pulls out a shirt and looks at it. They appear to be dirty. They stink, as if they've been kind of packed in there wet a little bit and maybe getting a little mildewed. Some of them are torn.
It was just size. Theo would actually, the whole crew would probably know this. Was it a full moon recently?
Roll a nature check.
Is Dr. Grah a werewolf? Or worse, a were-alligator?
Theo is worried about. I got an 11.
Yeah. You know the moon cycle because you've been traveling. You're a sailor background. You pay attention to these things. You know that it was not a full moon in the last week or so. It is. It's on it's a waning moon right now.
Well, thank heavens for that. At which point Theo's going to look at Tenoch and go, "Do you make heads or tails of this?"
It's possible that he was or somebody was attempting to reproduce certain protective elements.
There was a man who on the ship, on the Liberty Rose that sailed with us from Port Bodal, who we didn't know but seemed particularly interested in Dr. Grah's research. Initially I thought maybe he had something to do with this, but I don't know that to be true. I haven't seen him since we arrived, but he was rather interested, asked a lot of questions, and of course Dr. Grah loves to talk about his research, so they spent many nights during the voyage up late taking cups and discussing the research.
What was his name?
I never caught his name.
He was on the boat you traveled on, though.
Yes, the Liberty Rose. He described himself as an explorer of sorts, and he looked weathered, like he was an outdoors type, I guess. Usually you can sort of pick out the ones who play and the ones who are true explorers, and he seemed to be the real deal. He himself had stories as well to tell. I didn't pay them much mind at the time, so I can't recall them for you, but...
was he a crew member of the ship?
No, he was not. He was a traveler.
What else could you describe him? Short, tall, dark-haired, fair-haired, accent of any kind?
A bit of a Silouise accent. He was fair-haired. He was bearded, but his skin was light. Didn't have that level of a beard, though. That's pretty impressive, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you. It grew on me.
That's enough for us to go looking for him if we need to.
Literally.
It's potion enhanced.
I wonder if it has anything to do with Dr. Grah's research. I don't know.
Other than him, did you, when you were in the Amadio, did you run into any kind of local resistance? Was there anybody upset that these things were being shared with you?
Well, some of the Zenzaran were more reluctant to speak with us than others. We certainly had our, I hate to use this term, but our assets within the tribe that we visited, who guided us through the areas where my job was to catalog the plant and animal life. I had a guide that would take me out on daily expeditions in and around the Bodal. And there was also a spiritual guide, cultural guide that was working with Dr. Grah on a regular basis. Some of the folks perhaps were less likely to speak openly with us about things. I didn't get the sense that there was direct hostilities, but I guess it's possible. They shared a lot with us, a lot of information, and Dr. Grah, while he hasn't really had a chance to summarize his findings, he was very excited about some of the things that he learned.
Guys.
Yeah.
You know that bartender's taking his time bringing us our drinks. I think we should just head back to the ship.
Right here. And he walks in and he says, "Got your drinks. Thanks for reminding me." And he walks in with shots of rum for everybody. And he even brings one and sets it down in front of Tanika as well. And she just kind of nods and takes it. And you guys watch as she just downs it in one shot and sets it down.
Okay.
What do you intend to do?
I think you should come back to our ship.
Well, there's two parts to this job that we've taken on. One is to find Dr. Grah, and and yourself. Obviously, we consider part of that. And the other is to acquire the cargo and bring that back as well. So we need to make sure the cargo is still there, but we'd prefer to find the doctor. Do you have any inklings, any idea other than this man that showed interest about what might have happened? Suspicions?
The enemies? Did you perhaps
Did you run into any trouble on the water on the way
step
back?
into any sacred places perhaps you shouldn't have?
She kind of looks at both of you as you're asking these questions, and she gets a little flustered, and she says, there were many times where we entered into what you would consider sacred areas to the Zenzara, and the whole area that they live in is sacred in some respects. So that's difficult. The research that Dr. Grah was most interested in went down a bit of a dark path, I would say, a little bit different than what I was working on, and he tried to explain some of his theory to me, and it was not something that I was fully able to comprehend in a way that made sense to me.
What were you working on?
I was cataloging basic taxonomy, taxonomic studies of the plant and animal life in the region. Much of the cargo that we have are samples to that effect that will be cataloged in the Athenaeum and be brought to the Natural History Museum for display in Monmurg.
Were there any specific items that he found that he considered kind of like the most valuable? Any items that of like special significance, I guess. Rhunnar's just in the back of his mind. He's thinking about like that talisman they pulled off Kuda. Did they any kind of strange items he was researching that he might have had in the room with him?
It's difficult to say. I know that on one of the last nights before we left the Bodal and the Zenzarn tribe, there was a ceremony, a bit of a send-off, if you will, dancing, music, some very deep ritual display of friendship and gratitude, and it seemed as though that night when I went to bed, things were sort of ramping up. I was tired and ready to leave, so I went to bed early, but it seemed like there was a lot of excitement in the tribe. The next morning, the doctor was significantly hungover, it seemed, and tired, and didn't speak much. So I figured that they stayed up late. I don't know of any strange items that he would have picked up. He was studying with one of the shaman in the group, and some of those plants that we've brought back, some of those samples are ingredients in various ceremonial activities. So the synergy of these different ingredients, when they're put together in different ways, obviously it's the sum is greater, than the effect is greater than the sum of its parts, if you will.
What's Do I know anything of these Zenzarin?
Oh, roll a. We'll do a nature check on this one, I think.
All right.
You know how North Londoners hate people from Swindon? Just like that.
Yeah, how about a 23, my friend?
Fucking do it.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you have never met anyone from this particular tribe. The name, when she said it the first time, triggered a memory of a story that you just kind of randomly recalled, of a group of peoples that lived in the upper reaches of the Bodal River, who engaged in ritualistic sacrifice and a channeling of. And this would be something that you learned from probably your mentor, the one that taught you how to speak with Mother Tiger. And so yeah, you have this this sort of very rudimentary lore-esque, story-esque knowledge of them.
Sure.
That part is a little bit harder to track down, but they are a warrior tribe. You know that, and you know that they have the ability to channel or embody the essence of a great, powerful creature. That's the story.
Do we know, like, do these stories give that creature type like a name? Like, you know, are they known for a specific type of creature, or is that kind of is the kind of horror of these stories really more of the point of this part of the story?
The name for whatever that creature might be, again, these are just stories that you've been told, but the name of the creature, or you might have, and this would have been in your tongue, so in your Olman, you've got this sort of like Creole Halfling Olman kind of blend. It would have been a word in that language for monster, whatever that word is in your language. The actual name of anything in the Zenzarin language or dialect would not be known to you.
Sure.
Yeah, it would be different.
Do any of my stories talk about the sacrifices? Are they known to sacrifice, those who walk on two legs? Or, like, do they take specific animals to sacrifice? Things like that.
What was your roll? It was a 20 something, 23?
23. Yeah, I rolled a 19.
You would know that. God, that was a really good roll that I didn't anticipate. So I'm trying not to give everything away,
Yeah, no.
But I'm trying to also honor
this is a great great way to do it. I like this, stories that may or may not be entirely true.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a story that you heard when you were training, and almost maybe it was like a story of warning to to stay away from, if you were ever to run into the Zenzarin in the jungle, to sort of make haste and make yourself disappear, which you're good at. So no, you don't know what the sacrifices would be. That knowledge is pretty guarded, and but what you know is that they're a tribal sort of warrior group of people who are said to have these almost supernatural abilities to communicate with things that are beyond, and how that relates to the rest of the story we'll leave for the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Do they have one last question? Are they known to have like an identifying demarcation? Do they do they have a certain physicality? Do they have do they wear like specific tribal like tattoos or markings? Do they wear a specific type of clothing?
It would be very similar to the clothing that your people would wear.
Okay.
Yep. Nothing that would be like, oh, they're from that tribe because they're wearing that thing.
We would know that they're from that tribe because we know that they're from that tribe.
Well, and it would also be
they're wearing red headbands.
Right. It would be that you would know that it was them because you were on their land.
Right.
Right. You had wandered into the Bodal River Valley.
So they're not
you
known
hit the
as...
Bodal River. If you were to hit the Bodal River and on a track, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to turn around now and go the other direction.
And I guess that gives you one more question, if I may. Are they known to leave their territory? Do they go about into other people's territories, perhaps to embody monsters and do stuff?
I would say that they are not a people who are known for expansionism.
Okay. It's good enough.
Nice roll. It also helps to have someone who lives in that region.
How?
By the way, this guy, thanks for gifting a sub to Subway HQ. Nice. What a guy.
You enjoy
Thanks, Kyle.
Hopefully Subway HQ will gift us sandwiches.
Footlongs.
I don't know if Subway HQ. I don't know if you're really from Subway, but
If
I'm
you
sure
are,
that's not the only time you've
we're
heard
looking
that,
for
and I
a sponsor.
apologize.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are.
Actually, Subway.
Ah,
Subway is very different. That actually means he comes from a Sulawese legacy of those who settled in the blah, blah, blah. Okay.
yeah.
I like it.
These. How long did you say you were amongst these folk? The Zenzaran?
We lived among them for nearly 2 months.
How many? They're. I'll just kind of.
Do you know of them?
They're. How would you say? And I say like the name, in my people for monster. They're. What did he say? I think Boogie Man. They're not known for being welcoming and gracious.
That was what we were told as well when we arrived in Fort Bodal, that we were foolhardy to seek them out and that we would surely be killed. But we found a local guide who was willing to bring us there. He knew of them and knew their whereabouts, and with an offering that we made to them, they accepted us to stay with them, and some of them actually, and it was reciprocated, we grew quite fond of them. They are good people.
What
Theo
was
just
the
gonna give
offering?
Tenoch a look.
We brought foodstuffs, but what they were most interested in was the tobacco. And you would know, Tenoch, that tobacco can be quite valuable in some of those tribes in that area.
Troubling. What sort of dances? Tell us more about this final ceremony, this going away ceremony.
Yes, and she recounts to you as best she can the events that she was there for, sharing of food, the dancing of the children, around a fire as the sun set over the jungle, and a local drink being shared that was fermented from the sap of some vine. And she tells you, she knows a whole bunch about the vine. She knows more about the vine and the sap and the brew that was offered than she does about the sort of the cultural specifics of the dancing and the sort of celebration. But she does a good job of recounting it. It's still pretty fresh in her mind. But she does mention that, Dr. Grah is really the one who had studied more intricately the ways of their ceremony and ritual. And that, he would be the one, if we can find him, he'd be able to answer many of your questions about that. It did seem as though Dr. Grah was very satisfied with what we'd accomplished there. In fact, on our voyage out of Fort Baudal, he had indicated that he was hoping to return as soon as he could find funding to finance his next expedition.
Did you ever leave the hotel to try to find him after he disappeared?
Well,
the window
yes.
was open.
I walked around the broken wharf and looked for him for a couple of hours, but as it grew dark, as night fell, I came back here and I haven't left since. Arid's been nice enough to bring me food and water, but I've been terrified. It appeared to me as though something horrible had happened.
Are you
in the room
set
next door.
lodging? Do you need anything paid for? Anything taken care of?
Arid has agreed to let me stay for as long as I need, so I don't think I need anything of that nature. If you're truly here to help and you've been sent by Mr. Mariconia, if you could find the doctor, that would be the greatest help you could provide.
Top of our fucking list. I just wanted to ask because I do not know how long this will take. And obviously you want to stay here, which whatever you need to do. What I would say is we are on a ship called the Good Buddy. It is in the harbor. Should something happen and you need to find us or need to leave this place for whatever reason, get a dinghy, sail out there, whatever you need to do, get to the Good Buddy. If we are not present, there's a bosun named Fritz. Let him know you were with the doctor and you have spoken to the captain, and they will make sure you are protected and taken care of until we arrive again.
Thank you.
Did anyone else have any other questions or suggestions, Captain?
The only other thing I was going to suggest is maybe we could look outside the building, see if there's any sign. I mean, how high is the drop from the window?
It's a second story, so you look out the window, Rhunar, to get an idea. You kind of get up and walk over and peek out. It's probably about 14 feet or so from the window to the ground.
Oh, agreed. It's just, is there anything else we need to bother this poor woman for? We did give her a heart attack. I gave her a heart attack, let's be honest.
I'm fine now. But yes, you did.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we're ready to...
We'll know where to
Take
find
up
you if we
talk about this downstairs.
have any questions.
Thank you so much. Again, very sorry surprising you. Hopefully, when we speak again, we will have some good news for you.
I hope so. I didn't catch your names.
My name's Rhunar Deg. I'm the captain of the Good Buddy.
You can see that she's writing down your names in her journal.
Thalassatis.
How do you spell that? The last part?
Do you know any Elven script?
Forget it. Theo's fine.
That's what we call him.
They call me Knucklebones.
Oh my. I can see why. She kind of looks at you and you're just kind of cut. This little halfling just yoked. And in my mind, you're shirtless. pretty much.
Yeah, it's an open
We
vest.
better be.
An open vest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you described that earlier. Yeah. And then she looks over at the bearded fellow, and you're Doctor. Oh, sorry, you're Doctor.
Byron, can you hear us?
I'm Dr. Dave McGillengutty.
Okay, that's creepy, but I'm gonna write it down.
It's
Dr. Dave.
he's committed.
Just call me Doctor.
It gets creepier the more he does it.
It really does.
Listen, if you don't feel safe here, maybe you should come to our boat. We
You are not doing a very good sales for that right now,
I'm gonna
Doctor.
stay here, Doctor, but thank you. She reaches out her hand to you, Theo, since you've been doing a lot of the talking, and she shakes it. She says, and she looks at all of you as she's shaking his hand. She says, "My name's Tanika Splani, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Please keep me posted. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know."
Check in with you as soon as
Yeah, I don't really want to leave the room though.
totally explain. We will leave, and you may and bar the door as you work. Again, thank you so much. And Theo just kind of backs out of the room.
Okay. So you guys make your way back downstairs.
Yeah.
The minute we're down, Theo just turns and looks at Tenoch and goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, exactly how fucky do you think the things he was involved in are?
I mean, we didn't really. 11.
I was afraid you would say that.
Yeah, they aren't. The word they can are tales say that they can embody the spirit of monsters, creatures, powerful beasts, beings.
What's the type of interesting thing that a scientist
In
or
the
a-
jungle, the line between spirit and beast and person and God is fluid.
Okay, so he had this protective circle. Maybe he did something like that and it went bad.
they
Is that
came for him?
possible?
I mean, they're like our neighbors. They're like our neighbors, kind. I guess you would say. If we found ourselves on their land, we would leave because they are not a gracious folk.
Unless apparently these people showed up, which
If to think that outsiders would stay with them for months is either they wanted something from him or the gift that he brought was more than tobacco.
Do you think it's worth going to check out the cargo?
we need to. We need to immediately.
Because,
I
like,
mean,
what if he jumped out
Marconio's
of
going to
there
want
and-
that.
Yeah.
That's stop number 1.
All right, let's go check it out.
We should. You had a good idea. Let us check beneath the window, though.
Yeah, let's inspect like the outside of the building. See if we can see any sign of.
I actually want to find out if I can look in the room.
Oh. Let's,
Sorts of things
let's-
to do there.
I mean,
Let's
some
just
of you
go
can
see
go
if it's
outside,
locked.
and I'll go look inside, and we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Sure.
You do not
Or
want to kill your bird. You spend a lot of-
two birds with 2 different sets of stones.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
yeah.
go around the-
All right. So Tenoch, you're gonna go check out the room. Arid.
I'm gonna ask if I can.
Yeah, Arid is happy to show you the room. He's like, yes, you want to see the accommodations? Perfect. And if you like it, perhaps you'll stay with me tonight. Yes, come. And he takes you upstairs and unlocks the door, and you can see that it's tidy, it's clean, it's put together very nicely. It looks as though it's been, the Cybert Island Greyhawk equivalent of kind of like sterilized and turned over and made nice again.
My wife is down with a dirty rag.
Yep, exactly.
Wipe down.
I want to just kind of look around, maybe paying particular attention to like the windowsill area. Look for scrape marks, cuts, anything like that, anything that wouldn't have been so easily kind of buffed out, as it were.
Sure. Yeah. Roll an investigation check.
I am proficient in survival.
Okay. So you're thinking of it more as like tracks, that sort of thing?
Kind of, yeah. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
All right. Yeah. Go for it. I like it.
Coincidentally, investigation is a better role for me, but survival makes more sense, I think, for my perspective on it.
I like it.
Ooh, yeah. How about a 7?
It looks to you as though it's a room that hasn't been used in quite some time. And Arid is sort of talking you through the room as you're looking around, and he's talking about the bed, and he kind of pushes down on the sort of mattress that he's got there. And you're not really listening to him as he's sort of, telling you about all the amenities that the room has and all this stuff. And you look down at the windowsill, and you can see that there is what appears to have been some recent woodworking done on the windowsill itself, but you don't see any sort of tracks or markings or anything like that.
Okay. It looks...
You like the room, then?
Sturdy. I'll
have the best
converse
in town
with my companions.
We have the best in town. Yes, please. Just let me know if you decide to stay. Be happy to have you. The rooms are filling up. We are quite busy. We have 2 rooms left. So if you're interested, please let me know.
Cool.
All right. And then he walks you out. Meanwhile, Rhunar, Theo, and Byron are outside. Is that correct?
Just looking up, trying to find the window.
Yep, it's easy enough to find. You can see where Tanika's room is, and you can see where the doctor's room was next door. It's about, as I mentioned, 14 feet or so from the ground to the window.
Are there any kind of like markings on the wall, like scratches, like looks like somebody might have climbed up or dragged something out or anything like that?
Great question. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
$14.
Nice.
You scan the wall and you look up, and as you kind of run your hand along the wood facade of the building, you catch your finger and you get like a little splinter in your hand, and you can see it's probably like a 1/4-inch long wooden splinter in your finger, and you pull it out and there's a little bit of blood. But you look at the spot where you got the splinter, and it appears as though there's a deep gouge. In fact, there are 4 deep gouges next to each other. About, I would say, between each of the 4 gouges, you estimate as you're looking at it now, you're getting down and kind of examining it more, about 2 to 3 inches between each gouge. But it's the only one that you can see.
Nope. That's not good.
So it's like a big, almost like a claw scrape on the wall underneath.
It's not so much a scrape as it is like something took a gouge, like someone took a chisel perhaps and chiseled out some wood at 4 different spots that are all kind of right next to each other. I should stop going like this because it's
kind of like a scraping impact kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a better way to describe it.
Theo has
night workman.
He's going to take a look and see if it matches any type of claw marking he'd be familiar with. Would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Nature? Sure. Roll a nature check. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. We're going to use all the checks.
We do a pretty good job of that. How many?
17.
Ooh, dang. You guys are rolling pretty well for this.
I'm going to make up for last session.
Yeah, so you get down as you see Rhunar examine it, and you kind of take a look at it. You guys are both sort of like, it's a little bit below eye level, so you're both kind of like hunched down looking at it. Byron, you're sort of standing behind them, trying to see what they're looking at. Theo, you guess that it could, it doesn't look like the work of tools at all. It looks to be a more of an organic sort of injury, if you will, to the wood. It doesn't appear to be made by tools. So in terms of trying to identify what kind of creature it could be, you rattle off in your head, a couple of different large, because you're specifically focused on creatures, I think you asked about. Yeah, you rattle off, like dire wolf, things like of that nature, large clawed animals. A large cat comes to mind, like panthers or, those types of things. And you've studied or seen pictures in books or encountered them in your travels. So you have a pretty decent pool of ideas to pull from, but it's that sort of type, if you will, animal
large
type.
size.
Exactly.
I have good news. It's done by an animal. I have bad news though. It was done by an animal with a paw that big.
Are there any obvious tracks leading away from the building?
Roll a survival check. What haven't we checked yet? Intimidation. We haven't checked intimidation.
Animal handling.
14 again.
14. Yeah. You start looking around, and you see a lot of tracks, a lot of human-sized foot traffic through this area. There's some cart tracks nearby. A couple feet away from the wall is a pathway, but you don't see anything strange. And after Theo sort of describes this theory of an animal, you're specifically kind of looking for animal tracks. You don't see anything that would fit that bill, but it's also been a week or more, maybe a couple days more than that, perhaps, since this event occurred. So it's not sort of a surprise that you wouldn't find any distinct, obvious tracks here.
Well, if this was some kind of creature, maybe somebody's seen something.
Do you want to canvass the area?
Why don't we check on that cargo first?
Yeah, let's start there, and then we can...
You never know, maybe there's something there.
Maybe there's an embalmed cat, animal, dog thing that animated itself. Maybe it's a case of an animated mummy. Those are my favorites.
What's a mummy?
A mummy is what happens when you take a body.
Never heard of it.
By drying it out. It's used a lot in cultures further west.
Huh. That's weird.
Usually goes with near.
Which way is what?
That way.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you guys are going to make your way to the warehouse district, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are on your way. You're walking to the warehouse district. We're going to take a break and take a bio break and do the things that we need to do. So we'll be back here in about 15 minutes, folks. Thanks for watching. If anybody's with us, we really appreciate it. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. So we will see you then. Bye.
Hoorah.
All right, folks, we're back, and we've got a map.
Back.
Look at us. We've got a map. Thanks for sticking around and watching our stream. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, give us a like. Or well, no, that's not how it works on here. Follow us. That's what it is. Or if you're looking for a friend, I would say get acquainted with this guy because he just gifted somebody a sub.
Yeah.
It's nice to have friends, right? Okay. Anyhow, let's jump back into this. We are looking at the map of the town that we're in, Cyber, and let's zoom in here a little bit. So the Dry Dock Tavern is right here. If you can see, hopefully you can see the ping. You are walking west to the warehouse district, and you have directions from Tanika in terms of where to go. So you are easily able to find the warehouse that you are seeking access to. And it is probably by this point, you know, you've had lunch, you hung out with Tanika, investigated things. It's probably late afternoon-ish, getting kind of late in the afternoon at this point. You know, D&D time.
All right. Is there any kind of guard or anything?
Or
can
roll,
we just,
roll a
go
perception
look at
check. Roll a perception check for me.
it? 10.
You don't see any kind of guards by the warehouse that you're interested in, but you don't see guards at any of the warehouses. What you do notice is that there is a lot of activity at most of the warehouses.
People are moving in and out. That's sweet grass.
Yep, the sweet grass is being brought in on carts and wagons and being offloaded just past the shoreline on the docks area. I can ping that because that's a thing right here. You can see that ships are being loaded. There are ships queued up in the harbor as well that looks to be, from your background in sailing, looks to be as if they are waiting perhaps to come in and load cargo.
Can I open the Can I get inside the warehouse?
You walk up and try to open the door. The door is locked.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
It doesn't budge.
Here, let me try.
Well, hold on a second. I imagine we have to get somebody to approve us to go inside.
Why?
Do you see
Can you get us
anyone
through the
around?
door?
Well, Dave, I forget. Did Marconia give us, like, any kind of documentation to, like, pick up the cargo?
Nope. He
Was there
basically
anything?
gave you the name of the doctor, and I think I think the only other thing that he might have given you was the dry dock. I think he had told you that the dry dock would have been a place to seek information.
Right.
Yep. So no, you don't have any sort of like bill of lading, or is that a word?
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
any sort of like notes from that would grant you any special privileges.
Could I do a
But there
quick
are
loop
people
through-
moving about.
Sorry.
There's a bustle of activity all around. It's late in the afternoon, as I mentioned, or mid-afternoonish, and you can see people are very busy.
All right. What do you guys think? Do you think we should try to look inside?
Yeah.
All right. Are there any windows, back door, anything like that?
You spend some time to search the building, do a
Yeah, I'm
walkabout.
gonna do a quick walk around. Yeah.
Okay. There are no windows. There is a back door. That's a large. So the door that you tried is more of like a pedestrian entry door. As you walk around the ocean side of the warehouse, the side that faces out to the docks, you see the ground is well worn. Very little vegetation is growing. It's dry and sandy almost, substrate that you're walking on, with some rocks and that sort of thing. And there's a large cargo bay door that's closed.
All right. I'll just describe it when I get back. I'll describe it to everybody else that there's another door.
Does anyone
We should probably go in this one then.
Does anyone look to be paying us any attention? Is anybody like, hey, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, in the eyes.
Sure. You're. Yeah. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
All right.
Whoa.
Oh,
Natural
nice.
20.
Heck yeah, is what they say when
23.
that happens. We got ourselves a
Wah, wah,
natural
wah,
20.
wah.
There should be something that we do when that happens, like huzzah or something.
Yeah.
Way to go! You did it.
We'll
Um,
workshop it.
Yeah,
Everybody
we're working on that, guys.
Everybody drink. I can do that right now.
Maybe we need to get like some hype emotes or something. We're working on emotes too. Anyways, I digress. We're playing D&D here. Yes. So a couple things, Irin. Nice roll.
Whoa. First off,
Oh, you're
Tenoch.
not Irin. Tenoch. Sorry. God. Sorry about that.
He's
A little bit of a-
Aaron
Wow.
slammed into a hat, buddy. That's why he's so muscly.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm actually
Irin-
quite a bit more muscly than Irin was.
Yeah.
He's
May you
crammed
rest
into
in peace. Tenoch. A couple things that you notice. For the most part, people are too busy to pay a whole lot of attention to your party. What you do notice is that people are taking note of you in particular. I guess sort of your clothing, even though you do dress sort of in sort of that piratey sort of sailor garb, you do have a different sort of vibe going on than most of the other people in town. However, you do also notice that there appear to be a lot of other, a very diverse crowd of people in this town. More diverse even than some of the areas that you've been in farther south, like some of the forts that you've visited on your travels. There are it's a diverse population. There appear to be a spectrum of races. Human and demi-human races. There's a variety of skin tones. There appears also to be a pretty distinct difference in sort of the what would be the best way to say it, like the wealth level of people walking around.
The social stratus.
The social stratus, yeah. There definitely appears to be people who are dressed very beautifully. But in this area, specifically in the warehouse district, it's working class folks who are getting the work done. A lot of farmers, a lot of dock workers and that sort of thing. Not necessarily taking notice of the group, but taking notice of you.
What kind of reactions do I notice?
You don't get like the raised eyebrow thing or anything like that, but you get sort of like the double takes, like, oh, like we haven't, there's not a lot of halflings, I will say, in this particular town, so that might be part of it.
Okay.
But you get the sense that even though people are noticing you, it's not like they're not like talking in hushed voices or giving you any.
This guy?
Yeah, look at that guy. They're not doing any of that kind of stuff.
Sure. I do stand out in a crowd.
It could be I don't know if you have
short crowd.
I don't know if you have the mask on or on your head or what's up with that, but that could be part of it.
I kind of wear it here, and then when I go to like get my game face on.
It's kind of like that Flavor Flav thing you described in the last episode or two.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it might be that.
Sure.
Yep. Could be the gold fronts. Who knows?
It's probably that.
Does anyone have a subtle way of getting into this building?
Yes.
Yeah, I got this.
We could go ask around.
You guys have not broken into places before, have you?
Watch this.
And Byron's gonna take out a lockpick and just slide it into the lock and turn it like a key.
I've never raided a town.
Okay, you're just gonna go for. Are you gonna do anything to like conceal this action, or you're just gonna go for it?
I'm gonna make it look like I'm just turning a key.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand first. This is fun. We're getting into it now. This is D&D. Oh my
I
God,
got a
24.
24.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you're doing a pretty good job of sort of concealing what you're doing. Now go ahead and roll the lock pick. That's pretty good.
Would that be a sleight of hand too? Or no, that'd be a thief's
No,
tool.
you
Just
have
kidding.
you have the thieves' tools.
The power of heart.
Dexterity.
Yes.
Talking about telekinesis.
Oh, this is so
24.
cool.
Oh, wow.
24.
Yep.
Nice.
Click. You open the door. It unlocks.
I'll push the door open and then I'll do one of those like bellhop bows and be like, "Welcome."
Thank you, Doctor. You,
Rhunar,
as
she's
always, and
That's
Theo will
awkward.
just walk right in.
No problem. I already had a key.
Pull it shut behind us.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go in.
All right, you walk in and you walk in, and as you do, you hear a and you look over to the left as you enter, and there's a what could best be described as like a picnic table style setup, a long wooden table with two long benches, one on either side of it. And sitting at one of the tables is a man who stands up. There's also at the table what appears to be a kenku. And it looks to you as you walk in and just kind of glance that they're playing a game of cards of some sort. And the man stands up and says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we're here to Mr. Oh God, Alexei. Out of character, I'm suddenly forgetting the name.
Octavio Grah.
No, the name of the guy, Mariconia. That's it. We're here to inspect Mr. Mariconia's goods. Could you direct us towards them, please?
Who are you?
Agents. We're here to collect the goods that have been sitting here for 2 weeks, taking up space.
Do you have any sort of documentation for this? We don't just let anyone in here. These are prized cargoes. Let's see the bill of lading. Come
If
on,
we had the bill of-
be quick about it.
We are here because the person with the bill of lading has gone missing, and we need to investigate that.
Well, I'm sorry, but if I just let anyone in here who gave me a load of bull like that, I might lose my job. And he kind of looks
Who are
over
you
the.
calling a load
He
of
looks
bull?
over at the Kenko, and the Kenku kind of, you can hear him just go with his beak, just kind of like he's laughing.
Can we at least inspect the goods to make sure they're still here? Because it's been a week and a half, and Mr. Mariconia is very concerned.
Roll a persuasion check, Theo.
Only a 28.
Oh, nice.
That's D&D, ladies and gentlemen. That's
Oh,
D&D.
I think, well, that's all for tonight, folks. We'll see you next time. Oh, my God. Oh, he looks at you, and then he looks at the, over at the Kenku, and he looks back at you, and you can just kind of see his sort of standoffish, sort of arrogance sort of drop right from his face. And he looks at you and says, Now's not a good time. Perhaps you could come back later. And he kind of nods at you. Might be preferable.
When would be good?
Much later, I would say.
And then Theo just turns to look at the Kenku. Do you have family in Monmouth, my friend?
Family in Monmouth, my friend.
Oh, so you all work for Melaman. This is going to get awkward very quickly, isn't it?
Excuse me, look, like I said, I'd be happy to show you around and help you with whatever it is you're looking for, but he kind of looks around behind him. Now's not a good time.
All right, let's just come back later. Maybe when
I think
we find
now's
our-
a great time. My employer would like to guarantee that his goods are safe.
While he's doing the talking, Theo's going to start looking around.
If you wish to slow that process, we can speed it up. Perhaps, maybe you've heard of me? They call me Knucklebones. And I just kind of like crack my massive hands.
All right. You're doing an intimidation essentially. So go ahead and roll an intimidation check. Theo, roll a perception check.
Yes. Yes. 7.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a tiny halfling man.
Yeah.
I'm just a tiny halfling man.
All right. I like it. So a couple things. Theo, you kind of poke your head in, and you guys are a couple feet in, right? You kind of look around, and you see that the guy in front of you, you see sweat, just a bead of sweat just rolling down the side of his face. And you don't get the sense that it's from the intimidation that Tenoch is flexing, because he doesn't look like he's backing up from you. He actually sort of moves a little bit closer to you, and he leans in and says, "Now is really a bad time." And he looks almost desperate.
What you need to do is get behind us right now.
And draw your weapon, because you're on our side now.
And you hear the Kenku's beak just start chattering. And we're going to all roll initiative.
Shut it, bird.
The minute he hears the chittering, Theo just yells as loud as he can, "Well, hello, boyos!"
All right, so give me a second here. We're going to jump over to a map.
I love that we have, in our own way, our new shtick is, hey, we're in a warehouse. Let's get in a fight.
I know, I was thinking about that the other day when I was...
the best fight pass.
This is
Our
like
third one.
This is like hallways in the MCU.
I didn't even realize it.
Like, oh, we're in a Netflix show. We're getting a hallway fight.
I was thinking about that when I was building some of these locations and the possible encounters, right? And I was like, oh yeah, these guys are all about like warehouse fights.
Just don't set anything on fire.
All right, there we go. Now the turn order is up now, so go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh yeah, that part.
All right,
we don't have.
I don't see my token.
Oh yeah. Let me do that. I can do that.
We got rid of your token because it didn't have the beard and the hair.
We did need a new token, and we couldn't find
Byron,
it.
Byron, you're kind of in the back. Rhunar, you're sort of in the back. Right here. Tenoch, you're probably right there. And Theo, something like that. Oop. Let's see, did I put you guys on the right layer? Nope.
Nope, because I can't grab me and I'm not locked to grid.
All right, hold on.
Look at this.
There we go. Now you should have some access. All right, so I need to roll some initiative too.
Hey. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this too.
Ooh, a 4.
We're rolling initiative, folks. We're rolling initiative, and so we put on the music for initiative music. And that's my song.
We have initiative music?
That's my song.
Cello.
Mm-hmm.
Cello, how are you doing?
Love cello.
Cello.
I would say it's one of my
Anyway.
favorite instruments.
It's pretty amazing.
A fine instrument.
All right, let's see what do we got here.
Oh man, I'm a fucking deck wizard now, baby. Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Why do I go first?
Theo's just gonna say out loud, "Remember the skeletons in hell?"
Have I perceived a threat yet? Like,
Yeah, you heard the
other
click
than
clack.
this, other than
beak
this
of
guy
doom.
being, other
Hey,
than this
clicked
guy
at us,
being
dude.
sketchy.
Yeah, what did remind me what did what did Tenoch say again before we jumped into this?
I said
Basically, like, we're coming in.
I'm trying to guarantee my employer's cargo. If you want to slow that process, we can speed it up. I think is about roughly what I said, and then I
Yep.
cracked my knuckles.
So we're just like invading this warehouse.
Full of
We're-
Listen,
they're about
you
to
guys
jump
have a
us.
reputation.
Also, let's be honest. Theo is drawing a very straight line between the Kenku working for Mullimon they encountered in Monmurg, and suddenly there's a Kenku here in a warehouse where there's the stuff owned by his, competitor who we happen to work for. That's why Theo straight out said, "Oh, you're Mullimon's men, great."
Also, my personality trait is, to me, a tavern brawl is a nice way to get to know.
I
your
have the
city.
same one. That's the other problem.
This is the next best thing to a tavern brawl. It's called a warehouse brawl. We love
Warehouse
them here at Beyond Saltmarsh. Warehouse fights are kind of our favorite. All right, so let's do this. As you get a better look at the situation, you see a number of individuals that have been hiding behind the goods, the cargo that's stacked in this warehouse. And let's see.
Number of individuals.
Let me just organize this. We got a couple of 12s. And a couple of... Okay. All right, so Rhunar. Let's see, is everybody in there? Rhunar, Byron, Tenoch, and Theo. Okay, got it. Rhunar, what do you want to do?
So this guy in front of me, right? What's he doing?
He looks terrified, sweat rolling down his down the side of his cheek, his temple, and he basically was like leaning in to whisper something to Theo and Tenoch, and then he looks terrified right now. He was trying to persuade you guys to not enter, basically.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna like shove right past him.
Okay. You want to use a shove attack on him to move him out of the way?
Yeah, I guess I can't move through there, right? Yeah, because he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do this for me. Roll a D100.
Okay.
Just because we can do that kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
It took me a minute to figure out that Tenoch was in front of me.
Yeah, you can push right through him. He provides no resistance to you. In fact, he kind of, as a reaction, steps out of the way.
Okay. And I'm gonna move to here. And I'm just gonna yell out, "There's a bunch of other ones in here!" And I'm gonna... do I have to spend now that we're in initiatives, I have to spend like my whole actions pulling swords and whatnot, right?
Rhunar,
you can use a free action to pull one of your swords and attack. If you want to pull both of them, do you have dual wielder?
Not the
The
feet.
dual wielder feat. Okay, so yeah, you can pull one as a free action. It would take your action to pull the second.
Were you gonna add something, Michael?
yeah, Theo is going to yell out loud as a free action. That's why I was going to irradiate the whole building.
Oh, God. Okay. I'll back up a little bit, and I'm going to attempt to grapple this guy right here. Well, God, I don't even know if he's part of it.
Yes. Yes.
I'll grapple him.
All right.
Yes.
The tradition
Everybody grab a friend. Fucking do-si-do.
Do your partner. Go ahead and roll an athletics check.
Okay.
And let's see. I guess it doesn't matter for him. I'm gonna roll a athletics check to resist. This
Natural
is
20.
not even worth
Rhunar
rolling.
Deg. Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, you've seen it here first. Rhunar Deg tears off his t-shirt. He's wearing "This is Erin, bitch" t-shirt underneath. Body slams a dude. It's chaos in the ring.
All of that is
His
true.
biceps have biceps.
All right, you currently have him grappled. You've got him bound up, and he's just like, he's not even struggling.
That's it, I guess.
Okay.
You have more attacks, man.
I do.
Yeah.
I have
A
an
grapple
extra
action. A grapple action is an attack is part of your attack action. You can take another
so I
attack.
can take an extra attack. So I'll give him a nice headbutt, Erin style. Attack!
All
right in
right.
his nose.
Roll an unarmed attack.
He's the innocent guy who just
I
works
know.
here. You're
That's
crushing him.
I'm not sticking him with anything.
That's fair.
Unarmed attack would be a D20 for the attack, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Strength attack roll.
Yep. Without your proficiency bonus, unless you're proficient in unarmed attacks.
okay, so
There's
it would
a
just
feat
be
for
a
that.
straight D20 then, right?
Plus strength.
Plus your strength bonus.
Oh, okay, so I can roll a strength, just a straight
Yep.
strength roll. Okay. 7.
Let's see. That is not going to hit him. He kind of like slips out of the way. Anything else from Rhunar?
I'm just gonna say, are these guys with you? And like look him right in the, just glare at him.
No! No! He responds as a free action.
All right, that's it. I'm good. I'm done.
All right. All right. So that brings us to a goblin steps out from behind these sacks of agricultural goods and fires a shot with his short bow at you, Tenoch. A 16.
Oh yeah, I mean that'll definitely hit. I'm not Erin anymore.
So 5 piercing as you take an arrow
Okay,
to the
5.
chest. Oh, we have a arrow strike.
Nice. Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Does he do anything else?
Nope, that is his action. It is now your action.
So quick question. As a person who has spent a decent amount of time working amongst the ships or various ships of the pirate holds the holds of the Sea Princes, is there like obviously I know I work for Mariconia and some of what's in this warehouse is his, but is there also maybe is there one of those pirate code guidelines of hey, this is our fucking shit? I don't know.
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah. Is there a concept of is there a concept of ownership amongst the holds as far as cargo, salvage rights, that kind of stuff? I don't know that necessarily would apply.
Roll-
I'm just,
yeah,
Salvage.
Roll
I'm just
a
thinking of a
First come, first serve.
roll an
Yeah.
roll an yeah. This is not. Yeah, it was not even a roll that you would need. This is not a salvage
Okay.
situation. This is like
Right.
commerce and business.
Right.
So yeah, you don't get any sense of that. Well, you get the sense that, well, yeah, no, you don't get any sense that this is like a salvage operation.
Right. What and then what Mariconia, he doesn't have like at least that I necessarily know, he doesn't have like a organizational name. He's just
Correct. The
what's his first name?
Mariconia family, or it's a family business. So Alesko, Mariconia.
He does have a crest. He does have a business symbol.
He
That's
does.
true.
It was on the crates in the other warehouse that you got into a fight in.
Right. That's fair.
I guess Tenoch wasn't there for that one though.
That's true.
No, but he's worked.
Oh,
with,
he worked for him though.
Nadar,
that's right.
who's that blue-skinned or blue scaled dragonborn. So he would know.
yeah.
He would know that. So
I will. Hang on 1 sec. So I will, as a matter of fact, I will. I'll kind of look around at specific. Like I look down maybe at my chest, or probably not my chest, because I look down where this arrow is, and I break it off as I might be used to doing in such cases. I look amongst these folk who are arrayed against us, and I say to them, these goods and these men, this is ours. We represent, what's his first name?
Alesko.
Alesko Mariconia. If you wish to take these goods, you have more than us to deal with. And I take my mask and I put it over my face, a little bit luchador wise. You're like, yes. Put the mask on, and I reach into a pouch, and technically this the spell doesn't have like a component, but I'm gonna make a component for it because it's cool. So I'm gonna pull out like a pinch of some kind of dust or perhaps ash, and kind of throw it on the ground, and say a word in a language that they probably don't understand, but sums up to the sort of thing that says would be translated as rise my ancestors and kill these some bitches.
Nice.
and I make the sign of the evil eye, and as a bonus action I cast Spirit Shroud.
I need to get that spell so bad.
I call forth the spirits of the dead, which flit around for the spell's duration. The spells are intangible and invulnerable. And then it does some cool stuff for me when I do stuff against these folk. And
when you deal damage, when you hit with an attack, you deal extra damage.
Yes, sir.
I will have that spell next level so hard.
It is damage. It is radiant, necrotic, or cold. Your choice.
Speed is reduced.
What type of damage are you going to be using, do you think, for this?
This will be necrotic for sure.
Okay. So it's necrotic damage. It also looks as though any creature of your choice within 10 feet, if there are any with, there certainly are. The Kenku is within 10 feet. The grappled livery boy is within. Okay, so he is going to have his speed reduced.
Yeah.
We'll give him a stopwatch until the start of your next turn. Okay, you'll have to help me remember that. All right, cool. That's great.
And I'm going to go ahead and cast it as a 4th level spell.
I think you don't get a benefit until a 5th level slot.
When you cast a spell using a spell of 4th level or higher, the damage increases by D8 for every 2 slots above 3rd. That's a good point. I will cast it as 3rd level. Thank you for understanding math.
I've been looking at this spell all afternoon, so I'm with
It's
it.
worded really weird, isn't it?
A little bit.
That happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Not
I
as
will
weird as some
say
other ones.
that's true. Yeah, and so I say that, and I say if if you leave now, you might be spared at least our wrath. And then I'm gonna use my action to punch the Kenku in the fucking chest.
Fucking punch that Birdman.
All right.
So, unarmed strike. Hiya.
Yes, you hit him. That's his armor class. You just hit him.
So I do 5 bludgeoning because, I rolled a 1. But then I also get to roll D8 necrotic damage, which I will do.
You have unarmed fighting, huh?
Nice. Yeah, because I have Tavern Brawler.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. So an additional 7 necrotic?
Yeah.
For
So
a
I punch
total
him.
of 12.
And as I kind of strike, the spirits that people can kind of see kind of coalesce around my fist and just kind of like almost like a spear just kind of shoot through him and kind of burst out the backside, and there's like almost like a spider web of kind of black rot kind of spreads out from the wound or from where I hit him.
Yeah, and the spider web it etches its way across his shirt. You can see it across his beak and his eyes, and you can almost see it in his eyes. The glossy sort of reflection of his eyeballs goes dim as it starts to get pulled back into his face, and you just hear him, "Knucklebones," he says in your voice. Anything else? He doesn't go down, but
no, that's all I got.
Horrible. All right. That was sweet. Byron.
All right, it's my turn. I'm going to move in 10 feet, reach into my sack, pull out one of my fuzzy balls, and throw it into the room.
Fuzzy ball time.
Fuzzy ball. What do we have for tonight?
Tonight it's going to be a number 3.
Oh, the old number 3.
What, a baboon?
That's going to be a baboon.
Yeah.
That's sad that now I'm memorizing what numbers are what.
How far can you throw those things?
I can throw them 20 feet, I believe.
Where do you want it to land?
I'm gonna land it right here.
Okay.
And as
you
a
have
bonus
control
action.
over this. Let me double check that.
Yes,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
do. As a bonus action, I will command it to jump on this guy here and bite his face. And then I will attempt to draw my shield, but just my shield.
All right, go. You have control, so go ahead and move him forward and roll his attack.
And a baboon trying to bite your face must be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly not the list of pleasantries.
I have a story about that for later. I have a really good story about that.
I'm really worried about that.
I'm so sorry. There's too many rolls.
That's a lot of dice.
He doesn't get
A
sneak attack.
powerful baboon.
Sneak and dueling damage doesn't happen. It does -1 damage. So
-1? What?
So he jumps on this goblin right here. Is that what happens? And tries to bite him?
up and bites him, but it doesn't do any damage.
God! You just hear this.
How does
Fucking
he get
baboons!
-1?
How does he get a -1 to attack?
It's the baboon trait.
That's
Let me
just the
open
way
it.
it is.
The baboon.
It's the baboon.
trait.
It's the baboon stat block.
Are you sure that's right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here,
What's his damage for a bite attack?
+1 to hit.
Minus
5
It's
reach.
D4.
1d4
1
minus
hit,
1.
hit,
One
1d4
D4
minus
silly.
1.
It's
The
d4
average
minus
is-
1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Anything else from Byron? So that was your bonus action. Or no, was that your action to throw the ball? It was.
So I did a free action to draw my shield, an action to pull the ball, and a bonus action to command it.
Okay. Perfect. That brings us to a large individual that steps out, red-skinned, pointy ears, hair pulled back in a tight knot behind him, standing quite tall over his goblin friend in front of him, and he says, "That name means nothing to us. This is our score. It's time for you to leave. Get 'em, boys." And he commands his men,
Your
and that
score?
is his action.
They're thieves.
That's it.
At that point, you see this large fanged green skin man, humanoid, with he is carrying a, what is he carrying? He's carrying a morning star, and
Ooh,
he's got this big beard that's tied in this tight bundle beneath his chin, and he's got this leather armor on with spikes on the shoulder and this chain belt around him, and he jumps over these sacks right here and moves forward 10, 20, 30. No, is that wrong? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. There we go. 25, excuse me. And he is going to swing the Morning Star at Rhunar. And just to double check how that other thing works.
And another thing.
And another thing. Morningstar swing. It is a normal roll, but he also gets a bonus to that, a D4 bonus. An 11 to hit. I'm guessing that doesn't hit.
Yeah, misses.
And he's going to swing again. Normal
Now we say and another thing. Jackie!
24 to hit.
That hits.
For 14 piercing damage from his Morning Star. As it sinks
Ouch.
into your armor and slips between the plates of your armor to do some substantial damage to you. And that is his turn.
Jeez.
This guy right here is going to stab at this guy that you have grappled.
Oh
What a
no!
You betrayed us! You must die! And he's going to stab at him with a scimitar. He gets 2 attacks.
No.
A
Hi-ya.
9 and a 19 hits. If he's grappled, does that mean he gets advantage?
Yep.
Yep, so he actually hits both times. And
Yep.
Rhunar, you're holding onto this guy, and you just see the end of a scimitar twice just come through twice, and he just goes limp in your arms, dead.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And
I didn't even get the chance to let him go.
another one of these large green-skinned creatures with a Morningstar steps out and takes a swing at the baboon.
The baboon.
Am I saying it wrong?
His morning.
No,
I
you're
like
saying
it.
it right.
I think it's all good.
I like how I
12.
like to say baboon.
12 hits. The baboon is dead.
Oof.
The baboon is dead. Long live the baboon.
The Kenku is actually going to try to slide across the table and move away from you, Tenoch. So if you want, you can take an attack of opportunity. He's going to
I
try
get to as well.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
Oh yeah.
His
Sir.
is affected too, Dave. Just
Yes.
probably
Yep, his speed is affected. He is definitely trying to back away from you.
know. Oh!
Yep. As he does, you
Can we just say he explodes?
Theo
I'm gonna
stabs
have to
him.
roll 2d8 damage as well for my necromantic
Do it.
spirits.
Go ahead and do that, and then tell me how he dies.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like, and Theo stabbed him too.
Yep.
Okay,
Which pinned
yeah.
him in place.
I feel like he goes to slide, and almost comically, because of course he's obviously a larger person, although Kenku aren't huge, but he is definitely bigger than I just kind of grab him and almost you know, like probably not by the throat, but grab a good chunk and just like pull him back and maybe slam him into the wall. And Theo just like reaches around and just goes, meh.
And then
stabs him.
what about the necrotic element?
Oh yeah. So yeah, so I grab him, I smash him against the wall, and Theo stabs him, and I just kind of like I do the squeeze, and it just kind of like spreads out in like a spider web and the kind of the spirits are kind of swirling, and they just kind of shoot through him a few times, and his last gasp, and you see, or maybe you don't. You're not certain that as he gasps, a spirit, perhaps his spirit, rather intimidating anyway, comes out of his mouth and joins the cloud of spirits that are around this area.
Wow.
And Theo's just natural response is to yell, "See, I am not the only one that does that."
He slumps to the ground in between the wall and the table.
Yeah.
All right. So he's gone. That brings us to this individual here that hasn't acted yet. And she takes a look at you guys, and she looks back at the captain who gave the orders and who sort of responded to you, and she says, "Perhaps there's a way that we can all win from this. There's plenty to go around. No need to kill off all of the men."
You shut your mouth, traitor.
What? Okay. She pulls out a dagger as you say that, and she throws the dagger at, it looks like Tenoch.
Damn it. See?
You would aim for him, not me. Wimp.
Says the guy in the back.
And it misses.
Oh, thank the maker.
It flies over your left shoulder, Tenoch, and goes right between Byron and Theo. You guys both watch it as it just slices right between you. And she just kind of laughs. And
what are you aiming at? Are you blind?
She was kind of leaning up against. She was kind of doing one of these, kind of leaning up against the stacked sacks, and then she kind of just pushes herself up and takes a look at you and just laughs. And she draws her rapier and says, "Come and get it then, boys." And that is her turn. Theo
just reverses the grip on his blade so that the pommel, which is set with some sort of sapphire-colored gems or something, or sapphire-colored metals. I don't know exactly what it looks like. That's for artists. Just sighs, looks at hers, and goes, "No, you should run," as he puts his hand over the pommel, and this globe of blue energy begins to grow out of it. And as the sphere reaches about the size of his fist, he just closes his fist around it, and the light snaps out of existence for a second, and then appears behind the hobgoblin, and immediately expands into a 30-foot sphere of green glowing light that ends right in front of Tenoch and Rhunar and catches everything else within 30 feet, which I think is the entire warehouse, as Theo casts Sickening Radiance, which I will link now.
Yeah, right here.
Wow.
At which point they all need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Save DC 16, I think?
Does that also hit this guy over here?
No, probably not.
No, it does not.
That's the only one who doesn't get hit.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's safe because I had to pull it back to make sure the boys don't get caught in it.
All right, we'll start at the southern end with the hobgoblin. What's the save DC?
16.
Okay. $14. So he takes how much damage? 10 damage.
Yep, I think it's the same for all of them.
So he'll take 20 points of radiant damage.
Okay. You hear the cry of of
And a
pain.
level of exhaustion.
Exactly. I love it. That is crazy powerful. All right.
Oh my
man.
god.
Constitution save from the goblin. 2. You watch as he is bathed in this blue light and he just falls to his knees and then drops to the ground and keels over. The woman.
He just killed the goblin outright.
Sickened him to death.
Chernobyl him.
Chernobyl him. Oh,
All right.
What would Jared Harris think?
Oof.
not too great.
Is it the same damage for all of them?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
20.
so 20 damage for her as she cries out in pain. This guy here. Wow, this is amazing. A 3. He drops to his knees in
That
pain
is
as
why
well.
I have this spell.
And the guy that's right in front of you. What happens to him? The tension is building. What's gonna happen? 11. Nice. Wow, that was huge. Okay. How long does that last for? 10 minutes?
Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Jesus. All right, so you're concentrating. Got it. Okay.
Concentration.
And that's,
Come
that's all
on.
I've got.
I hope that's all you've got.
I mean, I could hex one of them, which might technically count for this, but I think that's overkill. So no, we're good.
Okay.
They're all now glowing too.
And Theo will now just repeat. Well, the whole warehouse is filled with light. They're glowing, and Theo just says again, "Run."
All right, Rhunar.
All right, I'm gonna drop this limp sack of poor guy that got stabbed in my arms.
Yep. You got a good call.
And I'm gonna pull my sword and attack this ugly guy right in front of me.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. He's very handsome.
He is actually.
He's just a different sort than you like.
Well, see what you think about him once he hits you with a morning star.
That's fair. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, Rhunar has his eye on that morning star. By the way, he's
Of course he
I
does.
know.
Of course
he's
he
already
does.
noticed it. He's like, I'm gonna take that off your corpse, buddy. And
Did
then
Rhunar get a curse we missed?
No. For those
Yep.
of you who haven't
He's always
noticed
had
in
it.
the last episodes, Rhunar has a tendency to pick up a lot of weapons off the battlefield. and
He's a
carry them
hoarder.
around. Yeah, he
You should
is.
see his quarters on the ship.
Yeah, he's a
They're
bit of a
not-
hoarder.
they're not.
You're gonna
they're
need
not
a bigger
trophies.
ship.
Okay.
We're gonna need a bigger ship.
Okay, and I'm going to let's see.
I just snorted. All right.
Let me just figure out if I have to do something at the same time. Hold on.
Well, you definitely have to do something.
Okay, hold on. All right, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Ooh, does 11 hit?
Negative. Ghost Rider. That does not hit.
That pattern is full.
You can just hear him breathing heavily as he dodges out of the way of your strike.
All right, I'll use my extra attack.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that one hits.
26. I'll spend a superiority dice to do a disarming attack.
Okay.
Or not disarming, sorry, menacing.
Okay. Which means what?
Ooh, an 8. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to frighten the target. You add the superiority die to the damage of the roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. Sorry, I'll print it.
That's all right. Wisdom
On a
save.
failed
Yes.
save, it's frightened.
Yes. Print it, mail it to us so that we can
Yep.
read it.
Yep, do that.
So he
He
just took
fails.
18 slashing.
Yep, he takes 18 slashing and he is frightened of you.
That's it. That's it for now.
All right. Brings us to... Oh, that guy's dead. Tenoch.
All right. So here's a question for you, Dave.
Sure. Love to answer it.
Spirit Shroud
Yep.
specifically says until the spell ends, any attack that you make deals D8 extra damage when you hit a creature within 10 feet of you. Does that do spells that are attacks, like say Magic Missile, count as an attack for the purposes of that spell?
I would say the way it's written, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it's not concentration, right?
I mean, it is concentration, but it doesn't matter.
I would think the interpretation would be it's within 10 feet, so the Shroud of Spirits is still fucking them up.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, if you cast a concentration spell in addition to this one,
right,
this would get knocked out, obviously. But that's not what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say cast.
So if you're hitting
Blade,
right,
and
if you're gonna hit a creature within 10 feet with a non-concentration spell, this damage will apply. Yes.
Right.
That's an amazing spell.
Any attack you make,
beautiful.
Spirit Shroud is the best.
I'm gonna have to.
You know, in that case,
find some way to. Somebody on the opposite team is gonna get that someday. Just
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man.
Baby.
It happened with the armor. The armor of Agathis.
I think. Yeah, you're right.
I think I'm gonna cast a 4th level Magic Missile.
Do it, dude. You're a Decromancer now.
Yeah,
dude, you can do that kind of thing.
Romance that deck.
So there's Magic Missile. So I am going to
romance in the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh wow.
Michael Douglas.
So every slot over 2nd level creates one, or every slot of 2nd level or higher creates one more dart. So 2, 3, 4. So six darts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put 2 into the guy here.
Okay.
And fuck it. 4 into this lady.
Oh, all right. So how many? You have 6 total. Got it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, but hers will not be powered by the Spirit Shroud.
Correct.
But the 2 into this guy will. So hang on. Let me just bust out the. No. What is it? D4 plus 1. So I'll roll 2d4 plus. So 2d4. So 6, 7, 8, and then 2d8. And then another 5. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 total force damage.
Was that
Good
2d8 or just 1d8?
Just 1d8.
Did it only roll 1d8?
Yeah, it only rolled 1.
Let me roll another one. A 1.
So what's the total damage on this guy?
So 14 total force damage into that guy.
Okay.
Well, so I'm sorry. 8 force damage and 6 necrotic damage.
Got it.
The
You see that
cannot
same
be
sort
healed.
of webbing, necrotic webbing that starts to pull his face back a little bit, almost as though he's losing the like the moisture from his cells in his face and his skin. It's just getting tight. Almost like he's struggling against it. Anything else, Tenoch? Oh yeah, the 2 against the lady.
And then the 4 against her.
Oh, 4. Sorry, yeah, 4.
So 9
force
plus
damage.
4. So 13 force damage to her.
13 to her. Okay.
And oh man, and yeah, I don't like being so exposed, but here I am.
Get behind Theo.
Yeah.
This guy I have frightened.
Yeah, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a step. I'm gonna take some steps back. You know,
Ooh, attack of opportunity. No, maybe don't.
I'm not gonna. I don't know that Tenoch would. He's kind of a fucking brawler.
All right, Byron.
I gotta learn to live in the pocket.
All right then. I've stepped on anthills that fought harder than these guys.
I'm gonna roll forward,
Okay.
and I'm gonna give this guy that's to our left here a mandilectomy. A mandibulectomy.
Nope, it's a mandilectomy now. It's how the Mandalorians do it.
Mandibulectomy. It's a
Okay.
removal of the mandible or the lower jawbone with my dagger.
It was made famous by Dr. Mandible Lecter.
The Mandalorian.
All right, go ahead.
And
Roll
while
the
I'm
hit.
doing it, while I'm stabbing this guy, I want to be staring at that girl who is laughing in a giant decaying circle of radiant energy.
Okay. Roll to attack with disadvantage.
Okay. God, we're fucking brutal right now.
Crazy doctor.
We're pissed.
Look, we're not in a good place emotionally right now, and we may be taking it out on the assholes dumb enough to get in front of us.
I got a 21 to do 24 damage.
Yeah, you skewer this goblin and he's dead. He just slumps to the ground and falls off those sacks of grains and
mandible
lands on
hanging.
the
As he's
floor.
falling off my dagger, I'm gonna wipe it off on my beard.
Jesus.
Oh man. It's
You
great.
thought you were funny, didn't you? You thought you were gonna take this warehouse, huh?
All right, anything else from Byron?
That's all I got.
All right.
From Dr.
Um,
Dave. This is a
hey,
totally
hey, Dave.
different thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Dave McKillingutty.
Dave?
Which one? Are you talking to the doctor or the DM?
Oh, glorious Dungeon Master.
Yes, yes.
So when they start their turn in the effect, they take damage again.
Oh, yeah, that seems legit. Go ahead and roll damage.
They take damage again.
You have to
That's
save, though. He gets another save.
Does get a
Oh, they
save.
get another save. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That should do the trick.
Oh yeah, when they move.
Oh,
in.
Goblin, he's tough.
Yep, he is. I don't think he's tough enough though.
Tough enough.
14. So how much damage will he take? Okay.
25, and he takes another level of exhaustion.
Yep, he's dead.
We killed you guys from a doorway.
Yep.
We didn't even come into the room.
You're not even fully inside yet. All right. So then
Oh, damn.
she will attempt to survive. Nope.
25
25.
damage.
She's still alive.
Who is? Who was that?
The
Good.
woman. Right
Okay.
here. The fellow next to her with the morning star is going to attempt to survive. He will fail with the 13, and he is instantly killed. And then this guy that's absolutely terrified, we're just gonna go for it because it's fun. He's gonna go ahead and die probably. Oh yeah, natural 1. Yep, these guys obviously had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
They
today.
really didn't.
Yeah.
The sickening.
All of them are dead.
All of them, even the girl.
Nope, the girl is alive. She sort of staggers backwards, and she looks at you and says, "Who the fuck are you guys?"
We're the good buddies. And I'm like, "Bleh."
She's gonna run 30, and then she is going to dash out the door, free action, and she's running.
She has what?
Half movement because
Oh,
she has
she
2
does?
levels of exhaustion.
Oh, yeah, so she's right here.
Oh, exhaustion, yeah. Oh,
Actually, she's right there.
thing.
Fail.
She's moving very, very slowly.
She's still in range.
Theo, it's your turn.
You will drop the spell as a free action.
Okay, Rhunar.
Well, I have one other thing then.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to go over to the guy that got shivved, and try to stabilize him.
Oh, the not associated with these guys
He's
guy?
underneath me. I'm basically standing on him.
That's gross.
Not intentional. I'll step off him.
Roll a D100 for me. It's only been 1 round since he died, but
Good lord.
yeah,
That's
no,
not-
he's
that's
dead. He's
he went
fully
the other
dead.
way.
Yeah, he's fully dead. When you look at him.
Shit.
Rhunar.
I'm gonna jump. 1, 2, 6. Oops, that's the wrong thing.
I'm
jump
gonna
over
measure
guy.
I'm gonna measure the shit out of this room.
And I'm gonna yell, "Stop! Who do you work for?" And I'm going to ready an attack
Okay.
in case she makes an aggressive movement towards me.
All right. Tenoch, anything from you, sir?
What would Tenoch do? I think I just kind of like, especially now that his spell is gone, I'd probably like take a few steps forward and like coalesce these spirits around me and, you know, mask just like just like, I don't know, intimidation, like just like get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Byron.
Byron's just gonna reach into his sack and pull out a fuzzy ball and drop it right at his feet.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for fuzzy ball.
Come on, roll the axe beak and then just immediately be riding the axe beak. Do it.
We gotta create
Dude,
a
that'd be
mechanism for
do
the
I got another baboon.
chat to be able to roll this, I think.
Oh,
Another baboon.
I told the chat if we got 2 subscribers today, I'd throw a fuzzy ball the second we got it.
Nice.
And then we got 1 subscriber immediately after that.
And that was all you needed.
So I got a baboon. And as a bonus action, I'm gonna have it start grooming my beard.
Roll an animal handling check.
Very good.
I think that's a waste of a fuzzy ball, personally.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's gonna follow
No,
me around.
that's
for-
beautiful.
until sunset.
That's really what fuzzy balls are made for. Yeah, you guys watch as a fuzzy ball he just puts his hand out and lets it kind of drop out of his hand, kind of lazily hits the ground into a baboon. The baboon kind of walks up to him and just starts picking at his beard and like eating things out of it. Some of that fish
stew in
stew.
there.
Yeah, there's still some fish stew. It's like,
I'm gonna pet it while this is happening too.
Oh yeah, it loves you. It loves you. You guys are like the best friends.
He's friendly. Also pertinent to the person's turn who's about to come up. Since I dropped the spell, all exhaustion levels drop.
Okay.
So she
All right.
cast again.
She races out of the room, and as she blasts through the doors here, she kind of fumbles with the lock, throws it up, races out, and she turns back at you to take a look. And then she runs out of the room and disappears. And you guys are left with a literal pile
Corpses.
of corpses, including one who you're not sure about, but perhaps was the agent in charge of the warehouse. And I think what we'll do is we'll stop there for the night. You guys have got yourself into the shit, and we'll see how you guys get yourself out of it next. Nice job.
Yeah. Wow.
That sickening radiance is
Spirit Shroud.
ridiculous.
Sickening radiance. Oh,
Yeah, those spells
fuck, man.
are fantastic.
Like I
My
said,
God.
it was a spell took for ship-to-ship combat. It's designed to clear decks, and it clearly is effective at what it does.
Yeah, I'd say.
What I need to do is get a hold of the ice spell. What's the armor spell? Armor of Agathis.
Armor of Agathis.
So I get Armor of Agathis, Spirit Shroud, and then just fucking Thunderwave. Just Thunderwave. Just like get surrounded. This would be like Dynasty Warriors.
Guys,
Just all day. Just
if
bodies.
anyone in the chat out there who can help me figure out how to challenge these guys now that they've got these high-level spellcasters,
Tell you
DM
E
how
me.
to do
We'll
it.
talk.
I can tell you how to kill us.
No.
Don't
That was
do it.
great.
Don't.
That was a. I anticipated that encounter that you guys would go to the warehouse that was being robbed at the same time that you were investigating. So we'll see what happens next.
We needed a combat win after the trip to hell. And I think that was a lot of it, is we as a party were just ready to go hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you guys did not hesitate. And that combination of spells is ridiculously powerful, which it was fun to see what you guys are capable of.
Yeah, and in probably a good way, Spirit Shroud and Shadow Blade will not stack because they're both concentration.
Right. Thank God. Thank the gods.
But you know what does? Shroud and a great sword.
It does. It does. Also, catapult.
Catapult. Nice. That's a good one.
Well, and not to mention all the spells that you gained from that spell book and all those scrolls. Like, not bad. You got a nice little pile of spells to learn.
Oh God, Scorching Ray. Hands down, honest to goodness, Scorching Ray is my favorite attack spell in 5th edition. It's simple. It's not as like, it doesn't have like the fucking oomph of like Fireball, right? But there's a certain je ne sais quoi to Scorching Ray that I really like.
I just had a terrible thought because I realized, does Spirit Shroud stack with like Green Flame Blade or Sword Burst?
Yep.
That's
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Green Flame Blade is a cantrip. I think Sword Burst is also a cantrip.
Theo has access to all of
Automatically
them,
happens
and
on a hit.
he was
Damn
planning
you,
on getting one of
Tasha.
those.
Damn you, Tasha. You ruined it for me.
I mean,
Well, as
realistically,
long as you
it
guys
was
are
in-
having fun.
They were in
Look.
Sarkos Adventurer's Guide.
Yeah, look, the important part is we did good. We feel competent, and that's important.
And
Green Flame
you
Blade. I didn't
killed
even
a bunch
think
of
about
people in
that.
a warehouse, which is
Yeah.
kind of your MO.
That's disgusting.
At this point, it's kind of your MO. Let's be honest. Warehouse equals murder.
Time we run into it, I keep waiting to go to a warehouse and there just be no one in it, and it's just quiet, and we can just look
No.
around.
Not in my world, damn it.
Right? Yeah,
to
it's like
quiet a warehouse.
Dave's Greyhawk and any Shadowrun game. Warehouses are only ever populated by criminals and thugs.
That's right.
Who are probably robbing you.
Yep. Or you're assassinating them. All right, guys. Well,
they taunted
awesome
us.
stream. They taunted you guys, not really, but anyhow, great game. Oh, that was a lot. You guys learned a bunch of stuff. You guys did some great investigating, and then you went forward and murdered a bunch of bad guys. That's Dungeons and Dragons, folks. That's like top level D&D. We are doing what we can here to really showcase what this game is all about. Thanks for joining us, everybody in the chat. Tomorrow night, don't miss our Midwinter Keening episode 2. Chad's running that game, and it's episode 1 was fantastic. That was super fun. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna get some sleep. I hope you have a good night, and you and you and all you and all you. Thank you guys for joining us. Bye-bye.
So much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.